At a recent school reunion, I found out that around a half of my Asian school friends became medics, often following in the footsteps of their parents. It's almost a tradition in some Asian families to work in medicine. There are doctors in my own, but they've recently been fighting a virus that has proved more fatal to them than it has to their white colleagues. There can be no doubt that black and Asian medics are at the front line of this pandemic. I want to meet some of my old school friends and other black and Asian doctors to see the risks they are facing, and also whether their sacrifice might change the way we view race and immigration in this country.
The flow began after the war because they wanted jobs and Britain had jobs unfilled.
For more than 70 years, immigrants have been the backbone of the NHS. Hi Osman.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Like Osman's father, Dr. Adil El-Ter, the first NHS surgeon to die from COVID-19. His son, also a doctor, has just returned to work in ICU to fight the very virus that killed his own father. Hi, I was just saying, this is just like my parents' house.
Oh yeah?
What is it about immigrants? We all have to live in exactly the same kind of house.
It was very difficult going back. Every patient that I saw every once in a while would sort of bring flashbacks. You just sort of, you look at the patient and you think, wow, this person's possibly got children who are going through what I went through. Sorry guys, just give me a second here, sorry.
Take your time, it's fine. Do you think as a country we really appreciate what immigrants and second generation immigrants like you and I have done for the NHS?
I think this whole crisis has really underlined the contribution that the immigrant population has made to this country, and underlined it in a positive light. We're not all benefit seekers.
The words bravery and hero have been thrown around a lot lately, and they've almost become meaningless, but he's a properly brave and heroic man. To lose your father to an illness and then to treat people with the same illness just a few weeks later is just unimaginable to me. Yet some black Asian minority ethnic medics are deeply troubled by terms like hero. Saurabh Jain is a consultant at a London hospital. He has just recovered from COVID-19 after working in ICU.
Once you call somebody a hero, once you call them a warrior, when you send them into war, then it's okay for them to die. And it is not okay. And some of my colleagues have said, well, they worry about the effect of the virus on themselves. They worry about the fact that they may bring it home to their loved ones. So are they opposite of heroes? And we know opposite of a hero is a coward.
Do you think we as a nation really appreciate what immigration has done for the National Health Service?
So it depends on the day of the week. If you ask me on a Thursday when everybody's out clapping, I would say yes. But if you pick up any newspaper, we can see we have a real problem with race in this country and a real problem with immigrants. We're talking about Matt Hancock saying this is the national or the international health service. So yes, maybe that's one thing that will come out of this crisis, that people are a little bit more aware that immigrants are not only there to take their benefits and to steal their jobs, but maybe they're also contributing to society.
The really interesting thing about Saurabh is that he's put on the record something that lots of other black and Asian doctors have told me off the record, which is that they don't particularly feel heroic, they feel scared. Back in Wolverhampton, I'm going to catch up with an old school friend who is now a GP. I'm here to see Harinder. Ah, here he is. Hey, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
Twice in 3 This is one of the most diverse places in the UK. But during the referendum, the issue of immigration was decisive. Well, we're both from Wolverhampton, and Wolverhampton voted massively for Leave.
Yep.
Is there a disconnect between the way immigrants were portrayed during the Brexit campaign and the way they're being recognised for the work they do in the NHS now?
Absolutely, there is a disconnect there, but I don't think people have made that connection in their own minds. So when they've thought about it, they've bought the argument that a lot of immigrants are taking our jobs, they're a sponge on the NHS, but if you start to show people the benefit of immigrants as well and what they're gaining, they can make a kind of a more informed decision or formulate a more informed view of what their actual stance is on immigration.
So basically you're saying it's taken a global pandemic for us to appreciate what immigrants do, and the children of immigrants.
Absolutely, yeah.
The experience of these doctors reveals there's nothing equal about how this virus has affected Britain's communities. As a country, periodic crises force us to think about immigration. It happened with Stephen Lawrence and Windrush. Maybe the disproportionate suffering of BAME doctors during this pandemic will finally bring the lesson home.